Good afternoon, slimy fertilers, and for today's video I take a step away from politics and feminism and all that crap, and instead I'm going to dip my toe into the world of pseudoscience. What we have here is a guy that claims that he can prove that all black people are in fact not human and are descended from aliens. So this should be pretty interesting. Let's see what he's got to say.
Peace, peace, family.
Vegetable rights and peace.
This video right here is to show forth and prove that black people are genetically advanced due to extraterrestrial influence. And to show that we are descendants of the Anunnaki. I'm going to show this genetically and through the bloodline. And quite frankly, if you don't believe me, I don't give a fuck. You can go get who you want. You can go get the Pope. You can go get whatever scientists you want to get. Please go get them. But with that being said, it's time to show and prove. You are an idiot!
Yeah, a really good way to start off your supposed proof by saying that it doesn't matter what anybody else says, you don't give a fuck, and you're just not going to listen to any opinion or any evidence that doesn't correspond with what you found. Yeah, that's really in-depth scientific research there.
So here's my phone I broke. My camera's broke. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. I dropped it. What is the coincidence of that, family, that when I dropped my phone, nothing else broke on it but the camera part?
So I've cut a fair bit out here. He just spends a couple of minutes complaining about his phone, saying that he's made some notes and stuff like that on his phone and he can read them because only the camera broke on his phone and nothing else. He also spends quite a lot of time sort of cross-promoting his channel and his other videos he's done, basically saying that in order to understand what he's going to say here, you have to watch several other videos beforehand. I've watched them, and he just basically does the same. He refers to other videos or to other stuff that he's done in order to back his claims up. But we'll carry on watching, and maybe he'll bring forward something that's actually compelling evidence and stuff like that to prove that aliens walk among us.
Now, first of all, boom, what we must understand is what science proves, show force and proves is, and you can go right now and Google this. If you are not of African descent, anybody not of African descent is a Neanderthal.
No. Every single person on the face of the earth that is alive right now is classed as a Homo sapiens sapiens. That is the species that we all are. Homo sapiens sapiens is also known as the anatomically modern human. Yes, this does indeed include genetic markers from Neanderthals, but also includes genetic markers from things like Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Australopithecus, and other stages of human evolution going right back to sort of human-like ape creatures that existed thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Even black people have some genetic markers in that can come from Neanderthals. Of course, what this guy fails to also mention is that while he's doing quite a good job at pointing out that white people, in his opinion, all white people are Neanderthals, he doesn't go on to include Asian people in that. Asian people did not live anywhere near where Neanderthals were inhabited. For example, Neanderthals are called after the Neanderthal Valley in Germany, which is where the remains of the Neanderthal people were discovered. What's happened is, over time, Neanderthals mated with, mated and bred with other, human-like, creatures, people, varying different sorts, and over time all of those genetic markers all got mixed together to produce the modern anatomical human. We are all quite literally mongrels. There is no pure Neanderthal, there is no pure Homo sapien. We all have bits of everything from our past in us, including black people. He doesn't also mention that black people go through various different genetic traits themselves. For example, some black people are very, very dark, some are very, very light brown skinned. He doesn't bother mentioning any of this because that's not the point he's getting to. So let's carry on.
96%, anybody other than the African race is only 96% human being, and they're 4% Neanderthal.
As stated before, every single living person on this planet is made up of a varying degrees of earlier stage development. So it is very, very difficult to classify what what exactly a pure Homo sapien is. Yes, 96% of people do actually have Neanderthal genetic markers in them. Some don't, but that 4% isn't just black people.
Now this is important because this is where you show the distinction of the bloodline and who comes from what. We all know that everybody comes from the black race, but where does the black race come from? I'm finna show for proof right now. Now, this is important because if black people are the only human beings, then that means in the science books, when white people say we're all mammals, no, you're a mammal. I'm not no damn mammal. I'm a human being. I'm a god.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Now, with that being said, let's begin. So, if you've watched 76 trillion year history of the black race,
I don't need to watch it, mate. The best estimate at the moment of how old the universe is no more than 14 billion years. So for you to go on and say the 76 trillion year history of the black race just means that you're just pulling shit out of your arse now.
Now, with that being said, we want to talk about blood types first. Let's just say there's 8 blood types.
In a funny sort of way, he is actually correct here, provided, of course, that you only use the ABO classification system. What he neglects to mention is that there are actually 35 separate methods of classifying blood type. But I've snipped a bit out here because he basically goes on to tell us how there are blood types A, B, O, and AB plus positive and negative of them to make 8 blood types. If he'd used any of the other 34, it wouldn't play into his particular narrative that he's trying to push here, because he drops this corker straight away after explaining what blood types are.
We are the O negative blood type. Negative means you tested negative for rhesus monkey blood.
Yep, that's right. He's just basically asserted that all black people are O negative, and the reason they're O negative is because if you have the word negative after your blood type, and that means you have no rhesus monkey blood. He neglects to mention the fact that there is also A negative, B negative, AB negative, as well as O negative. He also neglects to mention that not all black people are O negative. There are, there's a nice mix. 45% of Caucasian people are also O negative. 51% of black people are O negative. He also doesn't seem to understand that the fact that they call it rhesus negative isn't because it's actual monkey blood that's in your blood. It's because that was named, the rhesus classification system was named after the rhesus monkey, and it was discovered in 1937 by 2 guys called Carl Landsteiner and Alexander Wiener. Wiener. Because basically what they'd done is they had taken blood from rhesus monkeys and given it to rabbits, and it didn't have any kind of effect. It was basically, what they did was introduce antigens in it. What was found was that basically by transferring the blood around transferred antigens, the rhesus factor basically measures the antigens in your blood, the things that help you fight off disease. So to basically make this assertion that basically it's him basically saying that black people didn't evolve from monkeys. Unfortunately, black people's basic genetic structure is the same as your average Caucasian or Asians, The only differences being is the genetic markers for certain, racial traits such as darker skin, etc., etc. Whether you like it or not, O rhesus negative is just basically the same blood as somebody who is O positive, except the people that are O positive have the rhesus factor in them. Nice try, but ultimately fail.
When the Caucasian was in the caves, fornicating and having sex with dogs and monkeys, he mixed semen and blood and became infected with rhesus monkey blood.
Okay then, so while white people were in the caves fornicating with dogs and monkeys, and the black people were in Africa being all like Kangs and stuff, white people's genetic structure became infected with blood and semen from monkeys. Well, if we're also fornicating with dogs, there must be some dog in there, apart from the fact that there is no canine DNA anywhere in any human. Neither is there actually any monkey blood semen, as I explained previously. The thing here is because rhesus monkeys aren't actually native to Europe or northern Asia. They are actually in fact native to South and Southeast Asia. The rhesus macaque, as it's properly called, didn't come anywhere near Europe until we started fetching them here. Once we'd learned how to build ships and aeroplanes and stuff like that. However, if we're going to go down the reach down and go to the racist route, there is a better than average chance that somebody from Africa could have come into contact with rhesus monkeys. I don't know about dogs, but if you're going to assert that white people are like they are because they have sex with animals, then I can do it too, because anything that can be asserted without evidence can also be disproved without evidence. And to offer basically racism as basically an explanation or an attempt to scientifically prove that black people are related to aliens just shows how low they're willing to go to try and prove the conspiracy that the white man is trying to hold down the black man, and it's just not working. Okay, so I've snipped a fairly large part of it out here at this point because he spends the next 10-15 minutes rambling on about various things. The first thing he does, he just continues to state that basically all white people's blood and semen, if you mate or breed with a black person, it's the white person's genetic structure contains proteins which destroys the black person's structure, which that's bollocks. It also goes on to mention, he goes on to read at length about a concept called horizontal gene transfer, which is actually a thing that is known about in biology. It describes how bacteria transfer genetic, pieces of genetics from themselves into other cells. This is known to happen. Unfortunately for this guy's narrative, the last major incidence of horizontal or lateral gene transfer, as it's also called, occurred before the human race as it is now existed. So basically the horizontal, the lateral gene transfer actually, created modern man kind of thing. It still does go off, but this guy also fails to mention that lateral gene transfer is also one of the things that is thought to cause cancer. Because I've snipped so much of the stuff out, I will make sure that I put a link below so that you can go and watch his entire video if you like. You can do, or you could just find something a bit better to do with your life.
The Anunnaki blood type, once again, is O. Most black people are of an O blood type. Now, in my first video, in my video 76 trillion year history of the black race, part 1, I state that we were created by our black ancestors from the 19th galaxy, known as the Anunnaki, as let's just say a force to do labor in order to help them get gold to restore their atmosphere, and in return they would give us the knowledge and science of the universe, which we would use to build great civilizations such as Kemet and all these other great things that white people just can't never figure out how we built.
This is starting to sound an awful lot like Scientology. Just saying.
So now with that being said,
Asserted without evidence is what he means.
Now, 97, according to Science Today, 97% out of 100%, humans only 3% of our DNA's codons are unlocked. 97% are locked, which means somebody locked them. So when we were genetically created, when our bodies were genetically created from the Anunnaki, the African people I'm talking to, black people, why this shows and proves that they did not want us to access our full power as on the level as theirs for a certain amount of time, because right now, like I just said, 97% of the DNA is locked. We only use 3%.
Okay, so I've, hunted around to try and figure out whether this claim has any base or not. And the closest I can find is that in 2014, The Guardian published an article saying that researchers have shown that we actually only make use of 10% or less than 10% of our DNA. But however, what the other 90% of it is made up of is stuff that's either already been used and isn't required anymore, or bits of stuff left over from evolution, evolutionary junk. The only kind of sources that I can find that actually state that any, the leftover bits or the bits that we don't use anymore are, locked special superpowers and things like that, are the sort of websites that along the lines of, the Alien Kangz and, fringe religion and new age crap. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that any of the bits of DNA that we don't actually use, that don't play an integral part in our growth and evolution, are have any secret hidden powers or anything like that. A lot of it is just quite literally stuff left over from earlier stages of development that we don't need anymore, and that probably at some point in the future we'll get rid of. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so hey. Okay, so I'm snipping the rest of the video at this point, because he then spends the remainder of the video talking about how DNA, the black people's DNA is starting to unlock, and that's why black people have more more powers and stuff like that. He also states that at some point in the past, some sort of alien masters have locked their special powers for some as yet unexplained reason, because he just pulls that one out of his arse. He goes on to make various claims, just basically, black people are better than white people because, we was aliens. He doesn't actually present any evidence to show exactly why black people aren't human. He continues, he's basically done his thing about lateral gene transfer, which didn't exactly explain anything about it, other than to make various racist statements about white people's blood basically being acid, and that we have sex with dogs and monkeys. There's probably a reason why people don't, put any credence in this whole kind of, blacks we used to be kings of the world and stuff like that. Especially not when you've got people like this that, I can't find any sources to corroborate any of the things that he says, other than other sites that espouse the same kind of thing. We've heard other things before that, basically Asian people are descendants of black people, because, they were things and they interbred with blacks and stuff like that. It's all a load of crap. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one there. Like I said, I'll put a link to his full video down at the bottom if you want to watch it. As usual, if you like this video, like it, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at the address given on the card here that's up on the screen. And if you particularly like my stuff and you want to help me buy a new microphone, maybe a new webcam at some point in the future, feel free to donate as little or as much as you want to the PayPal link on the card above. And hope you enjoyed this video. It went on a lot longer than what I wanted it to, so you have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.